So we got this game started before any large or multicolored text.
I mean, I considered it.
Anyway, so for this game we have Pavlos from Team A, Asteroid again from Team B, Fox Blazing from Team C, and Death Tacticus from Team D. I believe Team D has the map seed for this game. It is a power colony with a double power price.
So, looking at this, I'm a bit biased by, I see a map like this every time and I think, let's just
Nomad.
go Nomad.
Yeah.
Yep, Nomad. You have lots of silicon, you have cheap electronics, and from there you can just go into power, go whenever you want.
Yeah,
The only
Nomad.
catches that you want to found on Zero Debt, but I think there's enough Nomad spots about to do that.
Right, the only thing that might be a concern with founding later is the water, but yeah, we'll see how the players work around that.
Because you're going to be going to power early with core samples on the market, it's not the biggest issue, I don't think.
Right. Another thing to pay attention to, there is this double geo in the southwest corner. Don't know if anyone will be going for that.
I feel like with a power colony and double power, I think that is going to be high for contention.
Okay. He founding power elite, going triple win to start off.
Yeah, you can tell he's rehearsed this.
Pretty much instantaneous there. Atterfield going for the scavenger. He's going to profit off that very quick win. But I don't know what else is going to happen with him. Fox.
I don't like the scavenger fan at all. You don't even have a high medium, your water is very weak, and your aluminium's weak as well.
I also see no reason to not found adjacent to the carbon. Elite founds in general also just feel somewhat strange to me on this specific set of conditions. I mean, Death Tacticus in particular, going for the immediate power, works out. Fox might have been in some trouble with power otherwise.
Yep, in a way it works out for the people, which is nice. Pleasure domes are going to be insane this game, and you definitely want one HQ too. DT and Fox both making their claims already. I don't actually like Fox's claim for his pleasure dome there, because it doesn't have the potential to be fully surrounded.
Right, one tile northwest would have been better.
That'd been perfect, because the habitat's going to filter through between the two pleasure domes.
Fox does have his pleasure dome gooned at this point, which should be nice for him.
He has gone for tuning his wind instead.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well that works out for him. Power is down at 70 at this point, although it is definitely a possibility that everyone continues to ignore power as it stays at a moderate price, and that with the office pressure, this ends up making DT a lot of money.
Yep. I don't see one huge issue for DT now. Maybe he didn't plan for this, but there's only one other steelmaker in this game, which is the other elite. And elites typically don't make a lot of steel, I'd say, because compared to like a scientist, because they don't need as much to upgrade, so they can often just go on 2 steel rather than 3.
Right, DT will be able to move into steel pretty easily eventually, but yeah, definitely for this HQ he will have some amount of trouble. He has no steel secured yet, parking all his money in his reactor resources, which aren't doing a ton.
Fox is actually going to be ahead of him as the elite. At this point, unless he's anticipating some kind of shortage, which could be, I kind of like Fox's position over DT's here as an elite.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. DT actually going into a 4th wind turbine now. And still no one contesting power.
Yes, Fox has actually claimed a geo, which I like this for 2 reasons. One, obviously double geo grace and getting the power.
Also no steel down for him.
Yeah, that's the second thing. No one else is making steel, so it's good to just not kill the price.
Really? Okay. That claim auction was about to go unclaimed.
Is Fox gonna get it for 6k?
Not today.
I've never seen such a reluctant claim auction, especially when like these people aren't making power. Like they're close to no debt, but they're not making power money.
Right, I guess the main thing here is that the person you'd normally expect to be spamming the bid button has no interest. Because he is making the power money. I don't know why Atterfield hasn't been active in this bid war at all.
Yeah,
And
Fox has actually claimed the double geo here. It's instantly nice.
yeah, I think that actually probably works out pretty well for him. Even if that ends up eating a lot of dynamites or anything, that is less attention on the pleasure domes.
As I kind of talked about a little bit earlier, there was a nice life support shortage, as sort of indicated by DT's buildings, but surprisingly he doesn't have much water, which is a bit problematic, as that's actually the highest, higher than all the other life support.
Right, I'm not sure why he's going to a third reactor at this point. Okay, he is going to a pad lab. He has claimed this tile. He will be going for a slant, but it definitely still seems too early to commit to this third reactor. There's no particular reason for it. You could easily just grab an iron tile, start moving into steel, and just be better off.
Yeah, I'm actually quite a fan of Fox's position here. I don't know if I like the second pleasure dome. I think it's okay with you compete with another elite this time, unlike last game where Gensler sort of hurt his own price.
Right.
But the double geo is going to be great for him.
I think especially with the power price staying so high, you probably don't want to push into it yet if you're ever going to push into it. And in general, the calculation just feels similar enough to last game that I wouldn't bother. DT managing to core sample out some pretty nice water for himself. Gonna help.
Yeah, DT rushed into virtual reality.
Also has the spy down on the double geo, so he knows that one is undefended.
Yep. I was wondering that was going to happen. Obviously, if you're going blind, you think almost one of them's going to be definitely gooned. It's a huge risk.
I'd always take the safe EMP.
An elite HQ has been upgraded.
DT is going for a buy on Atterfield.
I really don't like that.
No.
Atterfield has pretty weak territory. I'm not going to expand into anything great.
I really like that EMP by Pavlos as well. I'm liking everything from Pavlos here. He hits DT, takes for that power money, he's buying in. I love Fox to join in with Pavlos here as well. Just chuck an extra buy-in.
Right, they're not going to realistically take DT down, but it is definitely just going to be a bit of extra money in their pockets when they sell out.
I don't know if that's the case. DT's got 19k now. That's almost enough to finish the buy, and then he's got nothing to defend.
That is true.
And he's currently completely EMP'd everywhere.
Right.
I think this buy doesn't happen. I think he loses, or this buy doesn't happen.
Okay, Fox.
And then Atterfield is... Oh, no, it's Fox, never mind. I think DT loses this.
Okay. Looks like Fox isn't interested in finishing the push. Makes some amount of sense to back off. Fox did already accomplish a fair amount with all these... Well, was it Fox doing that last freeze? Either way, he beats DT to virtual reality, and another chunk of change in his pocket.
It was Pavlos and Atterfield who did the freezes between them. I mean, looking at these prices now, I mean, the only one stuck away from finishing the buy here in terms of money. If Pavlos can get another 20k, if IDT gets 10k.
Yeah, I don't think I like Pavlos continuing to push in though when Fox has shown no interest. I feel like it's just unnecessarily delaying him.
I think this just works massively towards Fox's favour.
Fox has actually gotten a goon up on his second geotherm. Long term, this is going to be amazing for him.
Yep. This really punishes DT's overcommitment to them for wind turbines as well. Whilst the 4 wind is nice, this doesn't allow for any sort of like superconductor play or something in the future. If you do place buildings up there, they're not good.
The best he can really do is maybe hope for a core sample for silicon, get some decent silicon up there, but even that's just not great at all. Honestly, okay, never mind. If there were a chance to actually take out DT at this point, which there isn't, it would have been interesting to see Fox join in that push, lock up Pavlos' money, and then just be able to take out Pavlos very easily afterwards, but...
Yep.
Pablo's moving to an off-world instead after the sellouts.
I don't mind this. 42k launches.
Prices are dead enough on world that it does make a lot of sense. Also moving to an optimization center. Nothing queued up at the moment. I would suspect that oxygen optimizations are the plan.
New Elite HQ has been upgraded.
I had DT pushing up that silicon price even further. The off-world actually really hurts DT in a way. He doesn't have his silicon income.
It's interesting to me that DT has chosen that specific iron. I guess it is slightly closer to him, but it also will get frozen if anyone ever has a reason to freeze Atterfield. This 12k hacker ray auction is way too cheap.
Yeah, I think that's just a huge oversight on people. I'm wondering, like, maybe they're looking at, because the DT is vulnerable to majority buy for like next few seconds. Maybe they're thinking about that.
He is vulnerable, but he also isn't really, because he does have nanotech.
Again, these are things that might be thinking about during the auction to start stuck them from. So I don't think anyone planned on letting the auction go up 12k.
Definitely easy to lose sight of things. Pavlos' off-world is hologram, does have a goon squad on it. He has a backup goon already. No one has that spied out, so this could work out very nicely for him. Yeah, Fox is chain hacking Steel. At this point it is a lot less interesting than it was a while ago. Fox needs to notice that DT has this triangle of steel up now.
The black market is online.
Hasn't quite happened yet. I'm not sure I like any of these buys into Atterfield. Maybe in an extremely long game they make sense once Atterfield starts getting off-worlds up, but it's going to be a long time still. And Pavlos probably does not do well in such a long game, probably serve better by pushing into a second off-world.
Yeah, and 3 claims would be exactly a second off-world, I think, in terms of price. I mean, I think Fox is doing the complete opposite. He's hunkering down for a very long game here. Triple optimization center, pattern lab, 2 pressure domes, and hacker array.
Right. He could have benefited. He could have benefited from the extra stock price boost from Atterfield stock.
I'm so surprised he didn't. At this point, I'd like to see him buy a bit of his stock and have some debts, just to stop himself being a threat. Because I think Fox wins a long game here.
Right.
He just needs to not make himself a target. If like DT and Papa start fighting, that would be amazing for him.
Yeah, I think DT's best shot is probably to buy into Fox early-ish while he's still weak, and then take things from there. If Fox defends himself, well, this gets much harder. He'll surplus it.
Congratulations!
Yeah, I mean, obviously Fox is optimizing its steel and hacking it up. It slows DT down a lot. I don't really mind that in that sense. However, the hacker auction he gave to DT, and he knows he gave DT, so I've just completely negates this plan.
Yeah, and just again another auction going for far too cheap. Players very much distracted by other things. 7k tile auction going to Pavlos. He returns it immediately. Just a nice free claim for him. Both elites also just not using their hacker race to the... Okay, DT is now. Before, he wasn't using both shortage and surplus at the same time.
Prepare for pending market adjustments. Center is ready. Time to start improving everything.
I really want to see Fox person that here. I think with these steel surplus as well, as Foxy start banging into it as well.
Yeah, definitely
ready
don't...
for an off-world.
Yeah, the auto-selling continuing is definitely a mistake. Pavlos is moving into a second off-world at this point. He's really putting himself into a very strong position. DT is also caught up very much to Fox's.
Yeah, DT is sort of now aware of sort of Fox's long-term advantage.
But the one
I feel
thing,
if you,
Optimization
sorry.
routine successful.
one thing that DT does not have going is that he has no optimizations running, and that's going to be a big thing, but it might not matter. Fox might not have enough time.
Yeah, I don't think he does. I think if you're gonna go into this much advanced tech, I think you definitely have to hologram something just to misdirect people a little bit. 4 optimization centers is like insane, especially with elite speed bonus on optimization centers.
Right. Alternatively, maybe try to spread some of them to the colony, or just in a way that you're not going to get everything frozen by a single EMP. The colony has no bonuses for them this time, but I think it's still maybe a reasonable idea. Yeah, well,
He does have thinking machines. That's helpful a little bit.
Launched.
yeah, that is true.
All the money.
In any case, while all this is going on, it feels like this is really, really exactly what we were saying Pavlos wanted to see here.
The black market is open
Yeah,
for
he's
business.
now 50% on
Let
Fox,
the
30% DT,
begin.
and they just have zero interest in whatsoever.
DT is starting to go into his first off-world. No one has that spied. So we'll see if anyone...
Sold.
Another super cheap auction.
I mean, I don't know what's happening this game. Is that the third or the fourth one? That's just gone.
I guess to be fair, neither DT nor Fox could really make any use out of Superconductor, but still you
That being
can...
said, yeah, that's what we're seeing now. In the middle of the solar flares, superconductor, you have a nomad.
The optimization
Just
center
goes
is
2 solar
online.
panels, and that's just going
Let
to kill the
the
power
plan
price immediately.
obsolescence begin.
Yeah, they'll get up
Market is
very
online.
shortly before nighttime and still do a ton of work.
I think that's for 2 solar panels, he's making 12 power per second with 2 optimizations.
Our methods continue to improve. Successful off-world shipment. Make room for the profits.
I do think that Pablo should probably cancel these power optimizations after Superconductor goes to him. No particular reason to need those anymore. Maybe get
Yeah.
out of your glass, optimize food, or move into more reactors. Oxygen is still strong, still going to continue to be really strong.
I like to see electronics as well at this point. I mean,
Just
people are in
disappointed
glass
in you.
and chems, and it is not going further.
Off-world
Yeah,
shipment
that would also
launched.
work. I would have also really liked to see Pavlos join the push into DT.
Yeah, at this point they both have a big red number from Pablos over them. I think they should be aware that like maybe they aren't each other's threats at this point as well. Like Pablos is
The
very much
engineers have
contender here.
advanced our production.
Right, I think they should both know that regardless of who gets the buy on the other, neither of them is going to outrace Pavlos if they don't do something now.
Launch
I think
affirmative.
Fox may have just noticed that.
Out.
Yeah, Fox has just sold out and paid off his debt.
And buying into Pavlos now.
I don't like buying into Pablos, I think.
Yeah, I think you can leave that to DT with the higher stock price and maybe see what happens later. Maybe you have the opportunity to buy into DT and just take care of things very easily. It looks like DT might
The
still
black
be
market is
holding
open for
on for
business.
buy onto Fox.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have seen maybe Fox invest that money to go towards off-world.
Successful off-world shipment.
Because he's got the optimizations, he's got the pleasure domes, but once the prices crash, he has no plan.
Right. He already has thinking machines, and he just needs those off-worlds to keep up. That's his only chance. He's not going to reasonably buy out Pavlos, so this is all just kind of
Our
not
methods
accomplishing very
continue to
much.
improve.
Now he's just stock dancing. Trying to burn some of Pavlos' cash, but
Optimization routine successful.
That's
he's not in a position
handing
where
the
he
game
can
to
do
DT
that.
in a way.
Yeah.
Again, you have to just say like, I'm in 3rd place right now. I need to go for the long game. Get me off worlds. I mean, at this point, with him bought into Pablos, there's no way DT doesn't buy him. Because DT sort of obviously gets his stocks, and then DT obviously buys in Pablos as well.
Yeah, I think both players probably just have to go for Fox at this point. And Pavlos will have the buy first. Although with the sellout, maybe not.
Yeah, I think at this point, Fox just has to say, you're not going to buy me, and he does.
Yeah,
I don't like that though, for
Not at all.
Pablos.
now he's solidly behind DT.
Yeah. I mean, they're roughly even, except he doesn't have his own stock spot, and DT's an elite.
Right. Unless Fox really ends up being a huge sub-advantage before too long, it's not going to work out great. Did DT ever pick up thinking machines? No. So these dynamites onto the off-world are going to be very nice for him.
Something else to note as well is DT hasn't actually optimized at all as an elite.
Yeah.
So, like, I think we always like say elite is always going to win the late game, but that's always an assumption elite go to crazy optimizations, because they always do, like Fox did. Because DT hasn't, maybe Pavlos has a shot here.
Pavlos with some very solid optimizations with the two off-worlds up already. DT only just getting his second off-world up now. And, okay, now he's finally starting to get aggressive on Pavlos' off-worlds. Pavlos should still have the advantage for aggression, already with a lot of stuff stored up for that.
The black market is open for business.
Off-world number 3 coming down for DT as well. Pavlos, buy up that dynamite right now.
So who are we favoring here in this dumb game? So marginal. I'm kind of leaning towards Pavlos, purely because the way the sub ratios works. Fox is a much better sub than Asteroid, or will be once he gets into action. So with the lion's share there, I think maybe that might be enough to give him the buy.
Very well could be. One thing I would worry about for Fox is that he still has yet to build second and third off-worlds that could tank the sub-income for a while later, but still already very strong, still probably going to stay very strong.
Yeah. I mean, to put some numbers on it, Fox has 300k now and off-world is 95k, so it's not going to hurt him that much.
This is... Yes, this is DT hacking iron. And that's just really bad for him when Fox is producing 12 iron a second.
I think that's yeah, I think Pavlos has this with the dynamite in the off-world there.
Yeah, already has pulled solidly into the lead here.
Yeah, Asteroid just isn't the sub he wanted.
Yeah.
He's losing money now at around the 100k mark.
It's interesting to me that Asteroid has never managed to get into an off-world. I guess mostly electronics was very expensive for a long time. But yeah, that's definitely been a bit of a concern there. If you're Pavlos now, do you sell out of your stock?
Oops, sorry then, my game hung for a little bit. I cut up now.
Optimization routine successful.
Anyway, Pavlos getting another launch off now. Also buying a 70k EMP, which is solid. It hits all 3 off-worlds.
Yeah, 58k launches, that's good. I mean, DT is like treading water at this point. He still hasn't bought the mass stocks of Pavlos.
Right, I think at this point Pavlos can even just sell out of all his remaining stock after this next launch goes off, and he will have enough money. I don't think DT can do anything to stop that. Trying to get things done with the hacker array.
I think he has to, but now with Pavlos, I'd just buy 100 of everything now, no matter what, and prevent those monstrous hacks that can happen. I don't think it really matters.
Right. Hacks haven't actually even been all that monstrous, just because Fox is producing so many of the things that DT wants to hack, and Fox has so many optimizations that just forces the price down before he can get much done. Pavlos takes it.
Yep, good job to Pavlos. So I think that's very nicely done as a nomad against 2 elites. Holding out in that long game, getting into them very early off-worlds definitely helped him a lot.
Yeah, definitely making good use of those holograms to sneak under the radar a bit, using his cash to invest into those wisely, making him not seem like a huge threat until it was too late for the other players to respond. DT with a solid early game plan based off the map seed, but using his money in the wrong places in a lot of ways, going to Asteroid, not doing anything for the late game optimization wise, and then pushing into Fox when they couldn't afford to fight each other.
Yeah. I think just all the stars aligned for Pablo there.
Yeah.
As well as doing everything to use that advantage as well to get a victory.
Fox may be focusing a little too hard on the late game this game. 5 extra claims on the black market, those 4 optimization centers.
Yeah. I think if he'd done half as much late game prep, I think he would have been in a great spot, like 2 optimization centers and the 5 claims, or obviously he had like, I think he had hacker rate, pattern lab, 4 optimization centers, and 2 or 3 pleasure domes up all at once.
Yeah,
Just insane.
He could afford to do that, but that also meant he just stagnated really heavily in the middle.
Yeah. I think when you're doing that as well, you can sort of anticipate that prices will crash, so maybe you get... It doesn't feel nice to overpay for an off-wells, but doing it before the prices crash is often quite important, because you do anticipate a steel spike when you hit that point as well. Like once
Right.
DT started buying into off-worlds, the steel price spiked, and Fox had no stockpile steel to build his own. It just remained expensive.
Definitely a big mistake there with the continued auto-selling of steel after getting it fully optimized. That's definitely something where he could have been preparing for the off-worlds and had that out available to him.